He only stepped on a toy soldier, but he knew something was horribly wrong. He shouted for his buddy up front to stop, but it was already too late. His friend was blown into the air in an instant. Frozen in shock, he couldn't move a muscle. Then he heard a crisp snap beneath his own foot. Panic welled up as he realized he'd triggered a mine too. He stood perfectly still, holding his breath, mind gone blank. A blood-curdling scream snapped him back to reality. His friend's legs were gone, nothing but shredded flesh and bone. He couldn't fathom the mine's destructive power. But he forced himself to calm down. Rescuing his buddy was the only thing that mattered. First, he soothed his friend's panic. Then he coached him on using the painkiller syringe. In agony, his friend jabbed himself twice. He quickly stopped him, worried too much could stop his heart. Still, stopping the bleeding was urgent, and he couldn't do it solo. He pondered his options, then decided to take a risk. With desert sand likely rusting the mine, he guessed it might not detonate. His friend, terrified he'd suffer the same fate, pulled a gun on himself. Unable to bear the pain, he ended his own life. Rage and helplessness surged through the man. He could only watch. Events had spiraled beyond control. Now he had to save himself. Slowly, he dropped to one knee to steady his body. He slid a knife into the sand to gauge the mine's depth. The blade barely scraped the device at the very end. He sighed. There was no way to defuse it at such depth. Then his eyes landed on his friend's backpack. A plan sparked in his mind. He untied his bootlaces, but they were too short. He ripped the sling off his sniper rifle next. Then he dug an axe out of the pack and fashioned a makeshift rope. With everything ready, he heaved the axe toward the backpack. Missed it several times. He steadied himself on his planted left foot and tried again. He nearly toppled over but caught himself with his hand. Finally, the axe snagged the bag. He reached for the radio only to find its batteries on his friend's corpse. Left with no choice, he hooked up a solar panel as a makeshift power source. Hours crawled by until the radio's green light flickered on. Just as he was about to call HQ, he sensed something off. He looked up. A sandstorm was barreling toward him.